Where would an alien choose to stay if it stayed on Earth? How would a small group of people go about locating it? And if they could, what would they do with the evidence that they unraveled? We see a chimpanzee in an acting studio. It wanders around among a set that looks destroyed. Someone even appears to be lying dead there. And then the scene changes drastically to a man on a farm tending to horses. When daylight comes, the man goes over to speak to his father, who is mounted on a horse. His father tells him something about putting on a show. Then he asks about his son's sister, that she's supposed to be here. After that, the son, OJ, starts walking away. As he does, he starts hearing strange sounds. They prompt him to turn around and yell out to his father. But his horse just walks out of the fenced area and his father falls off it. In the next scene, they both ride in a car, with OJ driving. While they ride, his father mumbles in pain. Then we see him lie in a hospital bed. His injury is fully exposed. OJ sits in his car and looks at the horse his father sat on. He sees a key stuck in its body. After a while, a horse stands in a casting studio. OJ gets introduced to some of the production crew. Then a man asks about OJ's father and gets told that he died 6 months ago because something fell from the sky on him. After that, OJ starts handling the horse on the set and speaking to the production crew. While he speaks, his sister comes rushing onto the set. She introduces herself as Emerald Haywood and takes over speaking for OJ. She talks about how the first person in a motion picture was her great-great-grandfather. Then after her speech, she leaves, and OJ is also asked to step off. But before he does, one of the crew members puts a spherical mirror on the horse's face, and this causes it to react violently. It kicks sand with its hind legs and highly startles the crew there. Due to that unfortunate circumstance, both OJ and his sister get fired. The scene then changes to brother and sister riding in their truck with a horse trailer attached to it. They arrive at a place called Jupiter's Claim. We see OJ there speaking to his horse Lucky. He tells it to hang tight and that he will be back soon. As he walks, Emerald comes to him and asks how many horses he sold, and he answers her that it was 10. He adds that he's going to get them back. Then when they are about to enter a particular house, they get into a slight argument where OJ tells her that she is promoting the wrong thing. Instead of herself, she needs to be promoting the business. After that, they enter the house and come into a man's office. The man is Ricky Park. OJ tells him that he brought his second best horse to him, Lucky. While they talk, Emerald notices a poster on a wall and then Ricky starts speaking about it. He tells her that it's a reference to the Gordy's home incident. He starred in it in 1996 along with a chimpanzee. Afterward, he takes them into a special room where he talks about it some more. Then he gets to mention a certain episode where one of the chimps that played Gordy hit his limit. Ricky further says that it was 6 minutes and 13 seconds of havoc. The network tried to bury the incident, but the people were obsessed with it. Emerald then asks him what exactly happened, and Ricky replies by talking about a weekend nightlife skit that did a parody of that situation. He starts by saying that everyone there was celebrating Gordy's birthday, and then when someone said anything about a jungle, Gordy would go off. As Ricky continues to mention minor details about the skit, we see a flashback of a child Ricky sitting scared. We do not see anything else except for that. The next scene has OJ and his sister back at their ranch. He tells her that Ricky offered to buy it. She then asks him how much, but he does not tell her. They have some drinks back at home. Emerald tells him about her horse jean jacket. She goes on talking about it how it was hers, but then how it was taken from her. Later, OJ tells her how hard-headed their father was, but then he says that he did something special when he made this place. He changed the industry, and OJ cannot let that go. Then Emerald asks him why Ghost is in the arena. After that, we see the word Ghost on the screen. OJ walks to his horse that stands in the fenced area. From there, he yells to his sister that she should turn down her music. And then we see her dance to it in the house. All of a sudden, the horse runs from the fenced area and away into the distance. OJ stands there and watches it go. Then he hears a speech coming far away from Jupiter's Claim. He observes the lights there going out and then coming back on with more brightness than before. Emerald's music then also comes to a fading halt and she stops dancing. Then, after some seconds, it starts back up again. OJ notices something moving in the sky. He saw it for 1 second and has no idea what it was. Afterward, he comes back home. His sister asks him where's Ghost, but he cannot say. Later, she shows him on a computer how and when the power went out. Then they stand near the house and OJ asks Emerald if there is a word for a bad miracle. She doesn't know of one. Then he tells her that a prop plane ended their father's life. And she asks OJ what he saw out there when their horse Ghost ran away. He tells her that he does not know, but it was very fast and too quiet to be a plane. On the next day, they both sit in a car. Emerald tells her brother that there's a website that could pay in the area of $100,000 for photos of UFOs. While they shop at a store, they talk about their potential success some more. Then they go to pay for their selected goods. The cashier man asks them if they need help with installing their product, and they tell him they do not. But he makes it sound like it won't be easy for them and that it's better if he helps them. He mentions a few principles about how power goes out. And then we see him at their place with his van. He convinced them that he was needed. Then he, Angel, starts unloading materials from the van. After some amount of time, we see the installed camera nestled high atop a pole, and Angel moves it around with a remote. Then they stand near another camera. While they stand there, Angel tells OJ that they don't call them UFOs anymore. He says they're UAPs now. OJ asks him why the name got changed, and he answers that no one knows. And since they don't know, everyone lost interest in it. OJ then tells him that he saw a certain clip of a UFO. Angel replies that it's bad footage, but proof of an alien civilization somewhere out there. OJ asks the man about aliens, and he gives him some theories as to what they might be like. As they speak, Emerald yells from afar for some help. When they come to her, they help her unload a horse decoy. She says that it's for horse training. And then Ricky arrives. Emerald yells out to him that they're setting up a decoy for horse training. Then he just tells them that he wants to invite them to a new family live show before he drives away. After that, they stand near the front of their house, and Angel tells them that he set everything up. Then he asks them if they're going to tell him what it's all for, and Emerald responds that they will later. Afterward, Angel tells them he could monitor their feeds for free, but they decline that offer. The word Clover then appears on the screen. It is night, and OJ walks through his stables. Then he turns off the lights and starts walking away, but then the lights turn back on. OJ turns around and sees some strange figure stand up slowly. Then he sees another one peek out. With that creepy happening, OJ does not want anything to do with it, and so he starts backing away. He takes out his phone and starts recording. The creature then peeks out and almost looks like the quintessential image of an alien. Then another one hangs upside down near OJ. He gets scared and strikes it. This causes it to fall. It is then revealed that it was a kid wearing a mask. After that, 3 of them gather there and then run off. One of them says to not mess with Jupiter's claim. Emerald comes out, and OJ tells her what happened. He says they were Ricky's sons and that they let Clover out. She then yells out that she will get them for that, but her brother reminds her that she stole their horse, so it was just revenge. The scene changes to Angel sitting in his store Fry's Electronics. The power then goes out, and someone comes behind him and scares him. It is his coworker Nessie. Then back at the ranch, Emerald watches their camera. Something odd then appears right on the screen and scares her. She then realizes that it's a mantis. Shortly after, Angel calls her and says that there is a bug on camera 1. She tells him she knows that and then adds that she told him not to watch the cameras. But then he tells her that camera 2 is down. This information alerts her. Then we see OJ handling his horse. After it senses something, it runs away and knocks him down. He then turns around and notices something that looks like a tornado. His sister sees it too. And Angel tells her to get the bug off the camera and then asks if she sees anything. OJ and Emerald both see something in the cloud, and she tells her brother to run. When he runs into a shack, he observes some black faded substance disappear into the sky. Then Emerald notices the lights going out at the house. She brings a ladder and climbs to the roof of the house. When she's up there, she throws candy at the mantis on the camera to get it off. OJ then gets a much better view of the thing flying in the sky. And at this point, it is clearly an unidentified flying object. Soon after, a dust storm ensues. The lights turn back on at the house and the mantis flies away. Then Emerald comes to her brother, who is looking at their recorded footage. She tells him they have to leave this place. She is too scared to stay there, but he disagrees about leaving. On the next day, OJ is working at the stables and his father is there talking to him about Ghost. But he is a ghost in OJ's mind. Then Emerald calls a man named Antlers Hulst. She asks him if he remembers who they are, and he does. He tells her that he's speaking to motion picture royalty. Then she tells him that she has an offer of a lifetime for him. She says it's a documentary. And then Emerald tells him that there is something out there where they live and he is the only person that could get it on film. But Antlers tells her that the dream she is chasing is a dream she never wakes up from. And then he hangs up. OJ then sees Angel's van arriving at their place. Angel comes out and looks in the distance, stating that something is real. After that, the 3 of them are at the computer looking at the footage. Angel shows them a cloud there that does not move. They then stand outside and look at it. Angel tells them that that cloud has been there at least since he set up the cameras. And then OJ confirms it to himself by saying he's been looking at that cloud for the last 6 months. Emerald is excited about this recorded phenomenon, but Angel says that it's good, yet it's not proof. Then he states that there may be an alien ship in that cloud. However, OJ replies that it doesn't move like one. He then questions whether it is even a ship. Then the word Gordy presents itself on the screen. We see a sitcom playing where a very young Ricky stars. A girl brings a huge present to Gordy and sets it down. When it opens, balloons fly out and one of them pops. With that happening, Gordy unleashes his fury, and it is not shown exactly how he does it. Then the year 1998 appears. We walk through the set as a point of view individual, and then we land on little Ricky sitting under a table and watching Gordy in terror. A nearly exhausted lady on the floor still shows signs of life. Then the monkey comes to her and takes it away. Soon after, the man comes out and tries to calm Gordy. Then he starts running away but gets caught and handled by the faster and stronger animal. After a couple of seconds, Ricky sees Gordy come back. And as Gordy sits there, he looks directly at Ricky. Then he comes to him and offers his fist for a fist bump. As Ricky begins to offer his hand in return, the monkey gets eliminated by unseen personnel. Then the child Ricky turns into the adult Ricky. A lady comes to him and holds his hand. The screen shows us the word lucky. Angel stands on the roof of OJ's and Emerald's house. He is covering their camera because he states a storm is coming. Then OJ picks up a paper that belongs to Jupiter's claim from horse manure. He starts walking away and Angel asks him where he's off to. OJ tells him that he's getting lucky. We then see Ricky presenting himself to a crowd at Jupiter's claim. He stands near a big curtain-covered box. He then tells the people that every Friday for the last 6 months he and his family bore witness to a special spectacle. He saw a flying saucer descend through the mist. Then Ricky uncovers the box and it reveals a horse in a stable. He continues by saying that they are being watched by an alien species that he calls the viewers. Eventually, they faintly see something in the cloud. Ricky starts telling the horse to move, but it doesn't. Then everything stops working and the wind begins to pick up. Ricky looks up at the sky. What happens next is that everyone there ends up in some unknown area. We see them squeeze through with expressions of fear and confusion. The next scene has OJ entering Jupiter's claim. He walks through it, but no one is there. He then arrives at the place where Ricky was presenting, but everyone that was there is no longer present. OJ then notices something fly in the clouds. He calls out to his horse Lucky and then briefly sees it again. Then it becomes very visible above him, and finally, it comes down with full intimidating force and knocks OJ down to an unconscious state. When he wakes up in the dirt, it is already night and his horse is in his eyesight. After that, Angel leaves OJ's and Emerald's house. Emerald starts watching a video where her father narrates about their jockey ancestor. Her brother then calls and tells her that it's not a ship. Afterward, we see Angel driving away. His radio soon stops working and his vehicle soon follows. OJ then tells Emerald that it ate all of them. It's territorial and thinks this is its home. Her TV then turns off and even her and OJ's phones lose their power. With the situation being what it is, Angel comes back to their home and takes a knife. He then retreats under a table. After that, they hear very creepy sounds coming from above the house. Something that looks and sounds like heavy rain starts and stops. As the sounds move away from them, Angel trembles in fear and keeps asking who that was. Emerald tells him that it's above them. And then we see all sorts of materials falling near the front of the house. A giant dark UFO floats above the house and rains water and other stuff. OJ then arrives near his home. He sits there and waits in the storm. The water moves over and past him. Then he opens the car door and looks up. He perceives a terrifying object in place of where the night sky should be. After seeing that, he decides with certainty to stay in the truck. And as he stays there, he hears unearthly sounds. Then something falls through his front window and scares him even more. He stays seated there until morning, and during the morning is when the lights and radio return. We then see that the object that fell through the front window is the horse decoy. OJ rides his truck with the decoy there. Then he gets out and approaches Angel's van. He opens the door and calls Emerald and Angel there. Then the radio stops again. OJ looks up and sees the UFO there. After that, he remembers the scene right before the act that got him fired. And then the UFO leaves and the radio comes back. Angel and OJ's sister arrive and they sit in the van and drive away. In the following scene, they all stay at Angel's place. Then we see a reporter speaking on television about the people that disappeared at Jupiter's claim. This television is playing at Antlers Halst's place. He listens to it while being engaged with his work. After that, OJ, his sister, and Angel sit at a fast food restaurant. Then they stand and talk outside. They don't want to go back to where the UFO is, but OJ wants to free Lucky. So then they come back and he looks at his horse and it is still alive. As they walk there, they notice a man sitting with his back to them. He is Antlers Halst. He asks them how he could see it. After that, all four of them are in the house. OJ states that it does not like horse decoys and flags. Then he wants to call the UFO Jean Jacket. Antlers Halst tells them to send Jean Jacket some horses and see what happened. But Angel responds that OJ and Emerald are horse people, so that cannot happen. Afterward, Antlers Halst starts discussing his plan. He then takes out a non-electrical camera. As he continues to tell his plan, we see OJ and Angel stealing people's car batteries, and Emerald spends her time sewing. Antlers then tells OJ to break its spirit while he gets the shot. Afterward, they start getting ready for their mission, and we see Jean Jacket come on the screen. Emerald turns on music and looks out of the window to look at all of their tube men scattered across the ranch. Antlers records the field with his camera. Then OJ rides out on his horse. When he's on the field, he says that a tube man went down. Angel looks at that tube man through a digital camera and sees him coming back up. And then an unsuspected visitor starts entering their area on a motorcycle. Emerald comes out and asks him if she could help him. He sits there recording the cloud and asks her if she sees it. Then he starts recording her and asks what happened to Jupiter's claim. To that, she radios her crew and tells them that he's from TMZ. Then Angel looks at the tube man and says that Jean Jacket is here. Emerald tells the cameraman not to go in there, but he goes against her words. He rides quickly through the field, perhaps 60 miles per hour, and then his motorbike stops working and he flies off it and hits the ground. Angel states that he can't be alive after that, but then they hear him scream. OJ rides out to him. His sister tells him not to go there, but then the radio dies and he can't hear her anymore. He speaks to the man on the ground, who keeps asking for his camera. Then OJ tries to get the man up and out of there. Then many tube men fall, and as Jean Jacket appears and approaches them, OJ leaves the man to get sucked in by the UFO. He keeps riding for quite a distance until he stops. Then Jean Jacket appears and hovers right above him. OJ hears ghastly sounds coming from within it. Then he starts riding off when he hears that it's eating the tube men. He keeps riding and Jean Jacket chases after him. When it comes considerably close, OJ unleashes a string of flags to tail him. This causes Jean Jacket to halt due to having a repulsion to flags. Then OJ jumps off his horse and goes into the shack. After that spectacle, Antlers takes his camera and goes to the mountain. He starts recording and Jean Jacket hovers above. As it takes him in, he keeps recording it. Then Angel gets blown away by it, getting wrapped in a tarp as he goes down. Emerald also gets blown away by a decent distance. After that, Jean Jacket spits out materials that it does not like. And then it comes to claim Angel. But after it takes him, it spits him out because of the tarp and barbed wire that surrounds him. OJ then sees his sister walking and yells out to her that she get on the motorbike and leave. When she gets to it, she tries to start it, but it won't start. And what OJ sees then is Jean Jacket in another form. It is even bigger and looks sort of like a jellyfish. He keeps looking at it and then Jean Jacket takes out some other part of itself. This causes OJ to slowly back away. He watches it make bizarre movements with this new apparatus. After that, Emerald gets the motorbike to start and begins riding away. But Jean Jacket flies after her. She rides through Jupiter's claim and eventually stops near its entrance. Then she undoes the ropes holding the large balloon mascot and it starts floating into the sky. Once it floats and Jean Jacket is within good view, Emerald takes a picture of it using a station non-digital camera there. And then she takes another one. Meanwhile, Jean Jacket looks at the balloon man, and then it swallows him and flies away. As it takes him in, Emerald takes another picture of it. As Jean Jacket flies away, we see the balloon man squeezing through its insides. And shortly after, Jean Jacket explodes in the air. Perhaps confirming its death is Jupiter's claim announcement that starts back up. Emerald lies exhausted near the camera. Then she stands up and sees her brother on horseback standing in the distance. And the final shot shows us the last picture that Emerald took of Jean Jacket.